As many, the chair recognizes the honourable member for Marco City.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'd like to thank Almighty God for this opportunity to once again lend my voice to speak on behalf of the people of Marco City and by extension, Bahamians, and to say once again, in the Free National Movement, we recognize that we work for you. That every one of us who are appointed or elected, we have come to this place and the other place on your shoulders to do your bidding. That we work for the majority of Bahamians, not for the select few. Madam Speaker, that's why we believe in competitive bidding. Unlike this administration that have made available, Madam Speaker, more than $500 million in direct awards to a variety of companies, Madam Speaker, rather than create opportunities for the vast majority of Bahamians to compete and bid. And if we true in BPL, Madam Speaker, then we would have to go north of $1 billion in direct awards, no competitive bidding, as national assets are privatized, Madam Speaker. But I rise today to lend my voice and our support to the automatic exchange of financial account information amendment bill, Madam Speaker. But we do so at a time when many of our residents, Madam Speaker, are traumatized once again by a passing hurricane. Several of us in here, Madam Speaker, live through and have survived hurricanes that threaten the lives of so many Bahamians, and where we have had neighbors who have lost lives. So every time we hear of a strong, powerful storm, we are concerned about our brothers and sisters, not just in the Bahamas, but throughout the region. And our hearts go out to them, and we extend our prayers, Father God, on behalf of all of our citizens and brothers and sisters in the region. And we know that God is able to protect, and he's able to help us restore generational wealth that has been lost in so many hurricanes, Madam Speaker. I heard a heart-wrenching voice note from a young man from Ragged Island, and I'd hoped that would have been commented on so we could know exactly what were the circumstances, where he talked about inability to get a flight out of Ragged Island and the concern that we seem to spend more time facilitating others than facilitating our own interests. It is my hope in the wrap-up that the government would be able to speak to it, whether or not persons who desired evacuation, if it was not taken care of. I know that during the course of the time when we were being briefed, I was able to communicate with Minister Lundy and Minister LaRoda, and they were helpful on several matters. But when I heard the voice note from the young man from Ragged Island, the place where my father is from, Madam Speaker, I was deeply concerned, and I think it's useful to speak to that issue.
The chair recognizes the honourable member for Freetown.
Madam Speaker, I heard the same voice note in a family group. The young man was speaking about us sending Bahamas Air to Jamaica, and Bahamas Air was sent to Jamaica to evacuate Bahamians, not Jamaicans. Subsequently, everyone who wants to be off of Ragged Island is off of Ragged Island. It is an issue that the airstrip at Ragged Island is in the condition that it is in. There were 2 smaller craft that took persons from Ragged Island to Exuma, but it is unfortunate that the angst caused that relative of ours to speak in berating terms about Bahamas Air evacuating Bahamians from Jamaica, which was in the strike zone of a Category 5 hurricane. And we have seen the damage done to Jamaica. And he was corrected in the family chat by somebody who pointed out to him that Bahamas Air went not to get foreigners, but to evacuate Bahamians out of the path of a Category 5 storm, which is our obligation to our citizens. I think he understood in the end, but when you are frustrated, you are frustrated.
Thank you, Honourable Member.
Thank you very much, Member for Freetown, my good Ragged Island cousin. The note I heard, Madam Speaker, spoke about a young man that said a plane was scheduled to go to Ragged Island, but inclement weather prevented it. Is that the same voice note that you're referring to?
Madam Speaker, we don't do phones in here, but someone from Ragged Island put the two planes that came. One came, appeared to be a caravan with the pontoons to land on the water, and the other was an ordinary aircraft. The $20 million storm shelter built on Ragged Island by the former administration is what the Defense Force and the residents who remain are sheltering in, a substantial building. But everyone who wanted to get out of Ragged Island is off of Ragged Island.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, I had the privilege of traveling to Eleuthera to meet with Bahamian fishermen ahead of them going out to sea, Madam Speaker. And so in the midst of all that was going on, we thought it necessary to have a discussion. And Madam Speaker, again, before I weigh in further on this bill, one of the concerns that they have raised is a concern that's being raised throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, where Bahamian fishers in a significant way feel as if they are under attack by poachers, both in terms of the raping of our marine resources, and they've identified the locations. They've carefully documented the areas where this has occurred. They have reached out to multiple members of this government and cabinet seeking clarification to have an audience so that they're able to have a fulsome discussion about, again, the threat they feel they are under relative to poachers. Secondly, the government, again, making it appears to be an adjustment in the policy that we had left behind. Fishing in the Bahamas is reserved for Bahamians, and only. And so, Madam Speaker, when I was the minister responsible for fisheries, our colleagues agreed. And when I say our colleagues, I'm referring to the minister with responsibility for labor, the minister with responsibility for immigration, the minister with responsibility for fisheries. We agreed that as best possible, we are going to seek to close any loopholes that permit persons to enter into relationships of convenience in order to circumvent our laws and to work in sectors where their historical bad fishing practices can damage our marine resources. And Madam Speaker, we made substantial progress, not just in one, passing the Fisheries Act, but Madam Speaker, in two, again, identifying cases where persons were circumventing the law. And we were cautious, Madam Speaker, not to delve into private people's relationships and assume from the outset that everyone who's in a relationship with a foreigner, that somehow there's some marriage of convenience, because we don't believe that. That's nonsense. But we do find it, Madam Speaker, and we did at that time, found it very bizarre, where we would have had applications from some folks, and we could remember there were multiple applications, Madam Speaker, where persons identify themselves as living, and it was often within 2 or 3 of the same corners in the area I grew up in proudly in Angliston, and their love story of how they fell in love and was, seeking to get married to a Bahamian was the same. They went to the fish fry, their eyes met, they fell in love, and then they got married. And we then looked also at the pattern of travel, Madam Speaker. At the end of the lobster season, they were gone. They came back again at the beginning of the lobster season. Madam Speaker, there was a confluence of evidence that strongly suggested that people are misusing our system. And this is not, let me say again, this is not to cast any aspersions on anyone who is married and in love. Again, Madam Speaker, We celebrate them, we support them, and if you come the right way and you do the right things, you are entitled to what we're entitled to. That's fine. But there are others, Madam Speaker, who are not. And it appears that this administration, under this administration, there have been a proliferation, a massive growth in the number of persons who are on Bahamian vessels who are of concern to Bahamian fishers, Madam Speaker, who are fishing in Bahamian waters. And there is a deep concern. There is a growth. Then you could stand on a point of order and give me the numbers and tell me that I'm wrong. But I firmly believe, Madam Speaker, from what we know, the site test is very clear, Madam Speaker. On some vessels, there are 13. There are 13. On other vessels, there are more.
The chair recognizes the honourable member for Fort Shell.
Madam Speaker, persons who are married to foreign Bahamians, who are married to foreign persons, there is a very rigorous process when they apply for permit to reside, when they apply for permanent residency, and when they apply for citizenship. It's the same process. It is the same officers who are reviewing and preparing the application. If the honorable member, in making the insinuation, if the member has information, has evidence, provide it to the authorities. If there are any fraudulent marriages which are taking place, you are a loyal citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Provide the evidence, provide it to the police, provide it to the immigration officer, so that we protect the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That is what I expect of every loyal citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to do. So provide the evidence.
Thank you, honourable member.
Madam Speaker, what I find rich in the member's intervention, I made it. Well, since you wish to go there, you happen to have been in another life the attorney for some of these folks that I'm talking about, Madam Speaker. So if you wish to go there, we can go there.
The honourable member for Fort
On a
Shell.
point of order, Madam Speaker, the insinuation that the honorable member has made. My work as an attorney in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, no complaint has been made to the Bar Association about my conduct, my professional conduct as a lawyer in the common. What is the relevance, Madam Speaker?
None.
Madam Speaker, I want this member. This is the Speaker. Madam Speaker, you're not the Speaker. Sit down. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I do not take liberties with anybody in this country. No, Madam Speaker, what does my being a lawyer has to do? Oh, please. Please.
Madam Speaker, let me be clear. Because I don't want the member to be misled on the point that I'm making. So I'm going to be clear. Those persons I am speaking about, I believe that you have sufficient information to know the concerns we had when I sat as minister. I'm not suggesting that you facilitated any illegal or unethical activities. I am aware, however, you represented some of those who had a concern with the position we took in our administration, with respect to who can get a compressor permit in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I'm willing to sit. So I'm not suggesting you sought to facilitate illegality, but I am saying emphatically that you were on the other side of a matter, that while in my professional and your professional capacity,
That's why it's done, though. Don't
right?
let that smart-
Again, no, but I've spoken to the matter. I can sit and you can clarify. That's the only point. So I want to be absolutely clear. If you want to stand up and make a point, okay, then relax yourself.
Stop imputing nonsense.
No, I've already clarified, and if you're not satisfied, stand up. So I know you. I know.
Honourable members.
I know that Mr. Fox have you out of sorts, but don't bring it in the house at the moment. I know. I understand.
Members.
I understand. I understand.
Members.
But please.
Man, listen to me.
Member for Fort Charlotte, I just hope member for Fort Charlotte, I hope I brought clarity to your matter.
Members.
Yes,
Members.
I hope I brought clarity to your matter.
Let's come back to the debate.
Thank you.
Let's come back. Listen, we have the young future in this room. And for us on this side to be carrying on in the manner that we are carrying on today, I mean, it's incredible. We can't, listen, we can't make it seem that when they get in this place and they're on this side, that behavior is acceptable. It's unacceptable. And I am expunging from the record because this member's private life has nothing to do with what happens in this precincts. Okay?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Is it a point of order?
The chair recognizes the honourable member for Foxhill.
Yeah, I had hoped that this allegation of massive proliferation, that's the point I'm taking objection to. Massive proliferation. Where is the evidence of it? You just can't come here and throw out something.
Let me help you.
No, I don't need any help. I'm saying it's either you come and say we have 20 cases and here are the 20 cases. But what you're saying is the government has been engaged in a massive proliferation, which leads to the complaints in Spanish Wells. And I say unequivocally that is not true. It's not so. Untrue. False. You asserted it. You asserted it. That's exactly my point.
So let me put it this way. When I sat in the chair, Madam Speaker, I was cautious, Madam Speaker, when concerns were raised by an important sector of our economy. We sought to be responsive to them. And what they have said in Spanish Wells, in Long Island, in Andros, in New Providence, in Coral Harbor, at Portersky, is that there has been a dramatic increase of who they recognize to be foreign nationals who previously were unable to be on Bahamian vessels, fishing in Bahamian waters. Now, in some cases, the majority of the crew are not of Bahamian descent. So if it's untrue, I'm just asking you or someone who knows better, former minister of Fisheries is present. I'm saying, listen to me. You are able, I would expect if you had an objection, but this member.
The chair recognizes
I'm not going to engage in sophistry here today, right? The member, look it up in the dictionary. What I'm saying is, look it up in the dictionary. I'm not going to engage in sophistry. What I'm saying is this. You say, out of the member's mouth, that there's been a massive proliferation in the immigration, whether it's dramatic or not. You said massive. All I'm saying is there's no evidence of that. You can't throw that out of the government because it is untrue. Because what it means is there's a conspiracy which their side has been spinning round and round and round, that we are somehow dramatically increasing people to become citizens of this country. That is false, completely untrue. And I wish it debunked, and it should be struck from the record. That's my view.
I will strike that from the record.
Speaker, I submit as a substitution for massive. There has been a significant and unacceptable increase of persons. And so, Madam Speaker,
Makes no difference.
I would leave that there. I would leave it there. Madam Speaker.
There is no evidence of it. It should be struck from the record.
But you are not providing any evidence to the contrary. You are not providing anything to the contrary. So how can you deny? How can you deny? How can you deny?
Members,
On what basis are you denying?
Members.
On what basis? On what, relax. Just relax, yes. But I'm saying, no, relax. No, relax. It's too much anger in the country as it is. Just relax. All I'm saying. So, Madam Speaker, may I continue? May I continue my presentation?
yes, I had that expunged.
Oh, exactly. So why is he on his
I
feet?
had it stricken from the record.
Yes.
th-
And so,
thank you, Honourable Member.
Madam Speaker, we have a duty of care to address the issues raised by fishermen throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Madam Speaker. That's the point. That is the, no. That is the, Madam Speaker, exactly why are you entertaining him on a lack of a point of order?
That is correct.
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, there has been an increase, and it will pass the site test. Just leave from here, go to Porterski, go Coral Harbor. In fact, one of the persons who have so many persons on the vessel that fishers are concerned about, in fact, sent out information to the public far and wide indicating that there's deep concern about poaching, there's concerns about unsafe practices, fishing practices. Madam Speaker, let me give you an example of what we call unsafe fishing practice, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, if you are on a boat and you dive for count, and you crack the count and leave the shells at the bottom of the water on the seabed, Madam Speaker, the shells,
Thank you, Honourable Member.
the shells.
Honourable Member.
Madam Speaker, let me say this before we go down this road, Madam Speaker. No problem. Go ahead, Madam Speaker.
Everybody should have calm heads today, eh?
Madam Speaker, there's only one hot hand over there. We're calm over here.
Calm.
We're calm, Madam Speaker.
You know, honourable members, when we come to this place and we begin to throw assertions around, we have to always be mindful that we are speaking to not just the heirs that listen in this place, but the ones that are on the lenses on the outside. And when we provide these kinds of statements, you have to bring the facts. You really have to bring the facts, because it has to be proven that what you're saying is factual. If we can't do that, we have to move on. Now, today we're debating the automatic exchange of financial accounts information, Bill 2025, and I see number 2 there, but you know, let's stay focused.
So, Madam Speaker,
Let's stay on cue.
Madam Speaker, I heard the undemocratic recommendation by the member for Fox Hill. He's done it before. He's summarily, aided and abetted by his colleagues, ended debate because he did not like the comments that were being made on the floor. Madam Speaker, so he then goes to relevance. Madam Speaker, protect me, Madam Speaker, protect me from him. Madam Speaker, he is talking about ending the debate because he does not like the line of argument that I'm raising, right, Madam Speaker? And so, Madam Speaker, let me just say to the public, the government side, Madam Speaker, no, don't worry, I look where I please. Madam Speaker, the government side intends at 1 o'clock to end the debate. I was going to be the last presenter, Madam Speaker, on our side. We have to, Madam Speaker, now reconfigure our presentation because they can willy-nilly decide whether or not we will have a full day at work. That's what they do. Madam Speaker, the second Wednesday of each month, we should be given an opportunity to ask questions relevant to the national development of our country and the condition of our people. This government, Madam Speaker, has consistently avoided giving us time to ask questions, right? So, Madam Speaker, here they are, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, you said that it is important to bring the facts. Madam Speaker, this is not a transparent administration that even provides details on the most significant issues that affect us. Madam Speaker, so let me give an example, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, he obviously is not prepared to be disciplined and should be disciplined, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, they do not present the facts. So when you are holding us to a different standard than you hold them, it sends the wrong message to the public, Madam Speaker. Let me give an example, Madam Speaker. When I was here last, I pointed out that this government made available $10 million to the Carmichael Development Corporation. That organization, Madam Speaker, I want you to hear, $10 million this administration gave to a company that is not properly registered. It's not registered. Not one of them got up on a point of order and gave an account for where the $10 million is. Not one. We can sit right now and say, explain. Explain to us what you did with $10 million that you made available to the Carmichael Development. So when the member for, I don't want to elevate his position by identifying, but he talked about transparency and accountability of this administration. Where's the accountability when we get up and ask? Outside, in case you will sue us, inside where we are protected, we want to know how and why did you give $10 million to the Carmichael Development Corporation? What was the money for? Secondly, we ask, you borrowed $20 million for the housing project in Carmichael, Madam Speaker. $20 million. We don't see $20 million worth of homes. We don't see $10 million worth of homes. We don't see $5 million worth of homes. We want to know what happened to the $20 million. Could the $10 million be to repay the lenders for $10 million they loaned to build the first set of homes that were never built, so you couldn't collect any mortgage payments, and you couldn't repay. And you couldn't repay. And so, Madam Speaker, we were talking about credibility. I was being asked, Madam Speaker, here's the relevance. I was being asked to present the facts. I'm saying on multiple occasions we have sought to ask for details on important things about how the people's monies are spent. I just gave two examples. They do not provide the information, Madam Speaker. I am entitled then, with the facts that I have,
The chair recognizes the honourable member.
to comment.
This is a bill about the automatic exchange of financial account information. Automatic exchange of financial account information. Nothing that this member has spoken in the 16 minutes that he's been speaking has been related to this bill. Nothing. Not one word. Nada. Zilch. Zero. I appeal to you. The rule on relevance.
Honourable member, are you prepared to speak at all on
Madam
debating
Speaker,
today?
of course, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'll only say this. Let me just comment for a moment on the bill, but let me say this. I understand the pressure. I understand the pressure you are under. And you know, by the grace of God, the will of God will be the will of God is going to be done in all of our cases. We come and we serve at the pleasure of the people. When they get tired of us, they send us home. And so you should not be upset if the people of Fox Hill is getting ready to send you home, because again, all of us serve at the pleasure of the people. So, Madam Speaker, with respect to the automatic exchange of financial account information amendment bill, Madam, comport yourself. Comport yourself. Comport yourself back. So, Madam Speaker, you're distracting me. Madam Speaker. So,
Say I dare you.
So, ready? this man. Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister, the member for Cat Island, Rumkey, and St. Salvador, Madam Speaker, the member from, I'm going to close on what I told about the pharmacy. I'm going to tell you what a young lady said to me in the pharmacy about her observation of some of the races she's watching. Allow me to close with that. But Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister got up.
On relevance.
Yes.
The bill is the automatic exchange of financial account information, Amendment number 2. The man has not spoken once on this bill. Not once. There's the rule on relevance.
The Prime Minister, in his presentation, the Prime Minister indicated that his administration has been spending a tremendous amount of time championing the people of the Bahamas cause in terms of climate justice, Madam Speaker. He has also gone on to talk about the pivotal role he perceives that he is playing in making sure that there is a level playing field in the international global financial services sector. Madam Speaker, I don't have a difficulty with the Prime Minister and those loyal to him trying to characterize him as a regional leader on the climate justice fight or in terms of financial services. Every time we see him or any other Bahamian on the international stage, we are proud of our people, no matter what side of the political divide they're on, when they are speaking in defense of our country. We have always said that. When we have not been correct in government, the leadership of the Free National Movement has always said, we do not begrudge the public for voting in what they believe is their best interest. So we don't have a problem conceding when we haven't gotten something right. But what we do take an issue with the member for Cat Island, Rumkey, and St. Salvador on, and those that bomb these termite-infested deaths in his defense for, we take issue with him trying to paint the picture that he is the first to have done it. The former Prime Minister, Dr. Minnis, the former Prime Minister Perry Christie, the former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham have all been on the international stage fighting so that we can have fair play as it relates to the EU and the OECD and the Americans that have sought to savage our financial services jurisdiction. We have always had leadership. Well, of course, listen, there is no possibility that he could defend the inordinate amount of travel that he's engaged on and the size of the junkets that he carried. So if that was his attempt to defend travel, he has failed miserably. And so, Madam Speaker, I just want to say, the Prime Minister, one thing I give him credit for, he's exceptional at playing good cop, bad cop. So the Prime Minister then speaks to the Deputy about the role he played in getting the UN to look closer at a matter that he does not believe the EU and the OECD are fair on. No problems. But what he doesn't say is in the same presentation, he got up to give the impression that the FNM has a monopoly on causing gray listing and blacklisting. Madam Speaker, it is a massive, can I say that, untruth to insinuate that that's the case. Because under both administrations, we have been victimized by the OECD and victimized by the EU. But the point is, he again, good cop, bad cop, he wishes to give the public the impression that the FNM failed in its administration of the financial services sector, and he's done it over and over. And several members in here today made a similar point. He's also told an untruth, Madam Speaker, that the PLP has rescued the economy, that they came in and the economy had fallen off a cliff and it was heading down. But, Madam Speaker, their own records, the records of the agencies that they tout, like IMF and World Bank, and their compliments to this administration on the administration of the Ministry of Finance, those same agencies indicated that when they came to government, that the economy had reopened and that there was pent-up demand by tourists around the world, particularly in the United States, and those tourists began flooding into the country, having now an opportunity because the economy was reopened. There wasn't anything magical that the Prime Minister or the member for Kill Island did. There wasn't anything magical about what the member for Fort Charlotte did. Madam Speaker, it was a simple fact that the world economy was reopening and we were beneficiaries. What I do ask them though, Madam Speaker, I asked them, what did they do with the $12 billion they collected over the last 4 years?
For Freetown.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Marco City is seeking to rewrite history. When this administration came to power, Madam Speaker, and we were opening up, all we heard from the other side was you're going too fast, caution. We heard that over and over again. And regardless of how pent up the demand is, Kalani, East Grand Bahama, you said it on one account, Sanan said it on one account. I don't recall Long Island saying it, but St. Barnabas said it, all except St. Barnabas. Sorry, except Long Island. Completely everything was, we're going too fast, we're not going to be able to deliver testing, and we're going to precipitate a problem. And so there was something magical about opening up as we opened up, because it would not have happened if the administration had not changed from one who penalized coconut boys.
Thank you, Honourable Member.
Madam Speaker, with respect to, again, I made the point, and I don't think it'll be fair to leave it without supporting it. I said, you know, the Prime Minister was good at good cop, bad cop. You remember the good member for Pinewood and then again the good member for Fort Charlotte. Both came on separate occasions and talked about the need for us to save NIB. And in the course of attempting to save NIB, and Madam Speaker, in the attempt to save NIB, they mentioned, Madam Speaker, that there will be an increase in the NIB rate. The member for Fort Charlotte, Madam Speaker, not only mentioned what that new increase would be, he then laid out what the increase would be over time. Now, it's impossible, Madam Speaker, for someone to come in the House of Assembly on a Wednesday or a Thursday after a Tuesday cabinet meeting and to say something contrary to what a cabinet has concluded. So we believe the member for Fort Charlotte. Yeah. Good call. But the Prime Minister then came later because the public was so upset and outraged by the rates they were about to put on the public that he came and said, oh, no, that can't happen. But he didn't just do it that time, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, inland revenue, accompanied by police with guns, or law enforcement with guns, and other agencies of the government went into businesses to check whether people were VAT compliant, whether things that they could discover, Madam Speaker, they could discover on a computer, they went into businesses.
Tedious repetition.
Tedious.
The bill is automatic exchange of financial account information, amendment number 2. The man has not spoken one word on the bill since he got up on his feet.
Madam Speaker, let me just say this before I continue to support what I said. Let me finish that, Madam Speaker. The Prime Minister then, when the public was outraged by armed guards going into businesses, the Prime Minister said, no, we have to do this a different way. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, but I'm straight in the process, though.
Honourable Member, let's speak at least for the last 6 minutes, 5 minutes on the bill.
Madam Speaker, this amendment that the member for Fox Hill is referring to has unintentionally increased the burden on small businesses. So I think you should pay attention. Madam Speaker, this amendment that has been brought today has unintentionally placed additional burdens of compliance on small businesses by potentially, Madam Speaker, requiring annual audits and raising penalties for non-compliance, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we risk punishing the very enterprises that we should be empowering. Many small business firms, Madam Speaker, operate on narrow margins. Adding another costly audit or compliance layer will make a difference in whether they survive or not. One of the things we will do, Madam Speaker, is remove this requirement, this automatic requirement for the range of businesses that this government is penalizing, that they will not have to produce an audit, Madam Speaker. Some of them need only have an audit review that is conducted, Madam Speaker. Many of them, Madam Speaker, their only client is the government. So the government already knows what their revenue is. And yet the government is requiring some of these agencies to, again, have an audited report. The second thing we would eliminate, Madam Speaker, we do not believe that businesses ought to pay this year's business license fee and estimate what their fee is going to be next year and pay that as well. It affects the liquidity, Madam Speaker, of those businesses. And so those two things are things we will automatically, upon coming to government, eliminate. The requirement that all businesses have an audit, and two, the requirement that you would have to pay, Madam Speaker, not just this year's business license fees, but, Madam Speaker, next year's business license fees. And so, Madam Speaker, having said that, I wish, Madam Speaker, to resume. Madam Speaker, while the member is still in the precincts, I just wanted to say, a lady stopped me in the pharmacy, Madam Speaker, and she was talking. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Tell your story, man.
Madam Speaker.
Tell your story, man.
Let me.
We want to hear it.
This bill is before the House. He's not spoken on the bill since he started speaking.
That's it.
Now he's going to go into some other tedious irrelevancy.
That's it.
I ask you to stop him in his tracks.
Madam Speaker, he's giving you instructions. That's most irregular.
More than him?
It's most irregular. So, Madam Speaker, I was saying that, with all the flooding that was going on in New Providence, an issue that all of us, Madam Speaker, have a responsibility to correct. Madam Speaker, I went to a pharmacy.
No.
And
Honorable member.
I thought you were allowing me to.
No. Yes.
A lonesome and dishonorable road. It's tiresome irrelevancy.
Stay
On the bill. Speak
point.
on the bill.
with the bill. Don't allow yourself to get distracted.
Yeah. So, Madam Speaker, the member is seeking to direct the chair, and the speaker is unable to do that. We don't take him
Everybody's
seriously.
unable to do that. He's not directing the chair.
Okay, good. So, Madam Speaker,
he's just indicating the rules, the relevance.
Yes. So
That's what he's doing.
So, Madam Speaker, we support any attempts, Madam Speaker, to ensure that there is a level playing field in the International Financial Services District, to ensure that the Bahamas and countries like the Bahamas are not treated any differently, Madam Speaker. And so as we debate this bill, we have now, Madam Speaker, done so in the context of this election season. And Madam Speaker, one of the things that struck me recently is in the midst of this flooding that has been going on, Madam Speaker, we had, Madam Speaker, a lady stopped me in one of the pharmacies.
No, I'm not allowing that. I'm not allowing that. And
I am concluding my remarks. And Madam Speaker, the lady indicated
to the member, but don't put that on the floor of this house.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
No.
What do you say about English? What do you say about English?
No.
So, Madam,
Leave it alone. Or I'll let him loose. Leave him.
no, you can proceed. You can proceed, Madam Speaker. We don't mind. Madam Speaker, some of our candidates Madam Speaker, in this country. They are inspiring.
Listen, this isn't free advertisement for election.
Allow me to, Madam
This
Speaker.
isn't free advertisement.
Madam
This isn't
Speaker,
free
may
advertisement.
I conclude my remarks, Madam Speaker?
You may conclude on the bill.
Yes. So, Madam Speaker, as I've said, the Free National Movement supports this amendment, Madam Speaker.
Love that, love that.
And we support every candidate in this House that is prepared to bring in a truck to pump out drains to make sure
No,
that
I will
flooding,
strike that from the record.
flooding does,
Striking from the record. Honorable member,
that flooding
come on,
does
come
not
on.
happen
Come
in
on.
communities in the Bahamas. Why would you strike? Why would you strike from the record?
Come on.
Applauding members of Parliament on all sides and aspirants who are that does not
applauding. That's the job.
correct, Madam Speaker, and so you cannot strike from the record. You cannot strike from the
That's what
record.
they're supposed to do, and that's what they're mandated to do. That's what they were elected
Correct.
to do.
And I applaud
Okay?
them. I applaud every one of them that have worked to clear drains that have not been cleared, to work on the flooding issue that exists in the Bahamas, Madam Speaker. With those few
Thank you,
words, Madam
Honourable.
Speaker, Marco City and the Free National Movement, we support the bill.
As many, the chair recognizes the honourable member for
Madam
Freetown.
Speaker, as was indicated by the member for Marco City and St. Anne's,